fucking shit, I wasn't expecting this. Hello, everybody. It is very late where I am right now. But Konami decided to drop the huge bombshell of both Master Rule 5 and the new anime. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I just got home half an hour ago. But I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here for me. I'm here for Yugioh. Even if I have no energy to talk or think about Yugioh, we're just going to have a very nice impromptu discussion about the news. If you guys want, we can have a much more organized, thought-based discussion later, but for now, I just want to give my general reaction. So first and foremost, we have the Master Rule 5 reveal. I was at Locals when this was officially announced, and everyone went apeshit. And for pretty good reason. So, Master Rule 5's big gimmick is going to be that fusions, synchros, and XYs have their restrictions from Master Rule 4 pretty much just removed. You now can put them anywhere on the board. You still have the extra monster zone, but you can also put them in the main monster zone. So essentially, all the old decks, DDDs, Black Wings, Fire Fists, anything you want, now is back at more or less full power. They can do everything they could do before. Can they keep up with the new decks? Well, at least now you get to see for yourselves. Now, I personally liked Master Rule 4. I liked Link Summoning. I liked the idea of limiting the extra deck, especially after just so many formats where everything was based around extra deck degeneracy. So I felt like doing something that kind of restricted that and slowed the game and made it more strategy based was nice. Unfortunately, Konami did not follow through on this. Instead, we get things like Firewall. We get things like the Goki engine, the Nightmares, all these things that pretty much just kept the game at its original speed, but just kind of made people realize, well, if it's just going to be the same shit, why can't I just have my old stuff back? Well, now you get your old stuff back, and that is very nice to see. The big things is that the restriction on pendulums will still be enforced. You still need to terraform zones with link points if you want to summon more than one from the extra deck, and links will obviously still have their practical purpose. Decks like, say, Thunder Dragons, which benefit greatly from the ability to just send stuff off for links, will obviously still utilize them. And I think a lot of decks that just use things like Borreload, Boral Sword, will still function, and that is good to see. Everything will be viable and will be somewhat usable, but the problem things, i.e. the pendulum abuse, will still be enforced. So I think all in all, that's a good direction to take the game. So yeah, now that we've talked about that, I think it is time to move on to the next thing, and that being the anime. So the next anime series will be called Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens. Yes, many people are probably hearing that title thinking, what the fuck? But remember, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 is the 5th arc. It's the 5th one. However, they worked Arc 5 into the show's plot in a way that I think worked for what they were trying to do. And the same can very much be applied here and can be expected. And there's a lot I think we can imply from our first round of pictures and even a minute 30-second trailer. I'll link the Yugioh organization page below. You can check out the trailer for yourself. Read it all to your heart's content. But based on this first picture, this looks a lot more kiddie than before. Now, I've talked about how I was kind of getting sick of the Yusaku design style. I didn't like that we got a much more subtle looking girl in the form of Aoi, only for her to get the big over-sexualized form with Blue Angel. I was never crazy about Go's design. I had issues with Revolver's design. So seeing something visually different is nice. The one problem is this looks very standard, generic kids anime. Like, this doesn't look like Yu-Gi-Oh! To me. This looks like Beat-em-on, this looks like Beyblade, this looks like all these other kids' anime franchises. It doesn't have Yu-Gi-Oh's sort of signature visual style. However, as far as Yu-Gi-Oh! Goes, it is different. It is different from what we've been getting. It is different from what we've seen in the franchise before, So there is that. So in terms of how the visual style appears, I think that'll come down for personal preference. I'm very in the middle. I think the character designs are okay on their own, but it's just like when you factor in just what the rest of anime looks like right now, I think it looks a tad part of the crowd. However, I'm saying however a lot. I'm sorry, I'm tired. But I will say this. When you read the little synopsis they give, we start seeing how it might be a little bit different from what is being insinuated here. So, story. In the not-so-distant future, Goha City is governed by its largest corporation, Goha Corp. Everything from schooling to dueling rules to much of daily life. Udo Hyuga, who attends Gosha 7th Elementary, decides to change this world which is too cramped for kids and battle with his road rush duel while believing in his creations. So, I think there's something kind of interesting about this premise. So yes, we get evil corporations a lot in everything, and we just had evil corporation in the last Yu-Gi-Oh! However, in the last one, Soul Technologies was this company that everyone just sort of thought of as another company. They were just supposed to be this normal thing, and when you learned more about what was going on, you found out they had a deeper, darker set of secrets on the inside. This time, it's a little bit different. This time, it's being insinuated the corporation is like running this city and controlling everything. And they use some interesting terms. First up, let's look at the premise for a sec. So, it says that the first thing they open with, it controls the schooling. If we were to read into this a little bit, and maybe we should or shouldn't, it's important to remember that kids are often defined by school. They are defined by what they learn in school. They're defined by how school shapes them into the people they will become. So when you think of it from that perspective, Goha Corporation is controlling the way the kids will think. It's controlling the way they will end up in the world, and through that. They also very specifically say dueling rules. Well, remember, dueling in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Universe is shown off as almost this kind of like religious experience. That feeling of power you get, the sort of strength you get from dueling is treated as something integral to how people are, just like how school is for the children. So the fact that they're controlling the dueling as well kind of gives off this impression this is a corporation that is pretty much running everything and maybe trying to just control the people. And this kid Yuga is the one who, for whatever reason, is like, no, this isn't right. And that's kind of interesting. Some of you may be saying I'm reading into this a little too much. Maybe I am, but remember, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Last time we had a kid-friendly looking one was Zale. That show gets fucked up. And also, I wasn't crazy about its visuals at first either. And Arc 5, literally, trailer 1 was a kid on a pink hippo. Look where that went. So yeah, I don't think we can trust that Yu-Gi-Oh! Looks too kiddie. And remember, this looks very easily marketable, so maybe Konami will lay off and let the storytelling just be told. As far as the characters themselves, it's not that I'm against the character designs, I just think they look a tad generic. However, looking at them on their own, they do have a fun quality to them. It's also interesting that Yuga is only 11, which makes him the youngest protagonist out of any of them, beating Yuma out by 2 years. So that's actually kind of interesting that they went this young. But remember, if this is a story about manipulation and control and how kids are the future and can be controlled and therefore control the future, going with a younger audience can kind of make sense, and also it keeps you out of a lot of the YA traps. So I'm interested to see where that's going to go. As far as rush duels go, they seem to be based more around like speed duel format, which kind of feels right considering the speed duels from Vrains felt like they were just retroactively made into that. And so I'm very interested to see where this is going to go. I'm very interested to see how the cards work. They seem to be rush cards. I don't know exactly what that is, but we will see as time goes. We're crouching on 10 minutes, and I really don't want to talk anymore. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff with the staff I'd like to talk about, but I think I'll save that for its own video. But yeah, tell me about all that below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, tell me everything you want to talk about with the new exciting direction Yu-Gi-Oh's taken us.